This time on Roadworthy, we got a 70-year-old car running for the first time after 44 years.
Yes, it sounds good. I can't believe it. I just bought this 70-year-old car, sight unseen, and it's been sitting in a barn for 44 years. So I'm gonna do the right thing and try to get it running and driving, then drive it halfway across the state back to my shop. Seems like a good idea. No, it's not. There's like mountain ranges and stuff, but the plan is I don't have one. I think we'll start by just walking around this thing, drink it up a little bit, see where to start, and then we got to get some miles, you know, under the belt. So let's dig in. This 50s Chevy may be your run-of-the-mill two-door coupe, but if we can get this back to the shop, I could see turning this into a really fun cruiser. It's a 1951 Chevrolet Deluxe, or Deluxe, depending on where you're from, I guess. It's got the fancy vent shades here. I think that was an option. You get that right out of the catalog. Also has the forehead vent right here. That is also a factory option, just scoops wind, you know, right in your eyeballs. Not good if you have allergies though. The side skirts are missing, so I think we could fix that by just heating up the rear end and dropping it lower to the ground to give the illusion, or we can run some poverty chrome, you know, get the duct tape across here. Not sure yet. Oof. Smells like a used knee brace and Vegemite. Floor checker. Oh, yep, that failed. There's a little bit of a hole in the floor. Oh my goodness, ignition sticks. Oh, be dipped. And they're the right ones. Throttle stuck. Check. Great. I've never got brakes. That's stuck. Check. Oh, we got a clutch. We're well on the way then. Oh, we got window crankage, door opener. There's a dead mouse or something in there. That's fine. We'll just close that. We're gonna close that up. Okay. We got some rocks. I mean, I don't know what else the guy needs. Yep, dirt daubers. We definitely got originalage going on. That's good. We got everything in here. Fuel making happener, generators on it, starters in, lightning whirler, lightning can with the hoses. This is most likely going to be a 216 or 216.5, they call them, because it has a 3-speed manual, or 3 on the tree, the old bolt action, you know. We do have a 12-volt battery in here. That's kind of concerning. It gets a little spicy on the ignition system and whatnot in the starter. So I'm going to jump right in, get into the fuel make it happener here. We got to make some fuel happen. We got a 1-barrel, of course. That's going to be a Carter. Oh, that's great. Throttle is just stuck wide open. That seems fine. So, very first thing a guy's going to have to do is just go ahead and snip this carb off. I'm sure it's going to need a rebuild anyway. At least get the linkage and everything like that moving. Then we could set up some sort of temporary fuel system. Then we'll move on to, you know, can we get some sparkles, some lightning going in this thing? Okay, so fuel system, we got to make sure the mechanical fuel pump works on this thing. I'd really like to try to avoid running a clicky-clacky because we got a 6-volt system here, it looks like. So in order to do that, we got to get the engine spinning so we can get that pump running. So I'm going to check the oil first, make sure we got something in here. It's got some viscosity. No gasoline in it, no water, antifreeze, anything like that. So we can definitely crank it over with that oil and maybe even run it on it, hopefully, for a little bit, and we'll change it down the road. Next, we got to toss a battery in here. We'll try to put a right one in. Yeah, rid of that. This car also has anti-theft. If you notice here, both cables are red. That's so if someone tries to steal it, they just burn the thing down before they figure out what's going on. I like that. Yep. There we go. Little old school hot rodder secret. Run these 8-volt batteries in here, you'll really get that starter just in Tokyo drift mode, you know, really spinning. I'm just gonna reach down, jump this across, see if this spins over. Yeah, starter's engaging and retracting, engine's rotating. We're in great shape. I can see the fuel line is broken off right here. We're not going to be using the original tank anyway, most likely, because 44 years sitting, it's going to be completely full of rust and dirt and grime and you name it. So we're going to plug directly into that pump with my fuel tank down here. 87 octane, it'll work. Bring that onto there. Go get me a clamp later, and we're set. Yeah. Let's throw this up here. Run that pump for a second. We got pressure in there now. Jump it again, we should have fuel coming out of there like crazy. There we go. So we've got a makeshift fuel system, and our carburetor should be done soaking over there, getting rebuilt. We'll tear into that thing, get all that put back together, then all we gotta do is get spark to this thing and it should fire off. Lots of corrosion on the points, which is to be expected. We could run a file or some emery cloth or some sandpaper through there, clean these up. This wire connection looks good. This one needs a fitting. I might just make a new wire and then we'll be good. Spady do dippy and a curlicue tail bop, about 6 feet long. I can make that. 6 feet. Yep, get in there. That's torqued. My back is hotter than Garth Brooks live, and I ain't kidding you. Like that. Yep, it's really important to gap your sparkulators for optimal performance and fuel economy. That one looks gapped, I guess. Yeah. Ignition system checked. Troubleshot, checked mark, crossed off, refixed, refurbished, done. So I'm gonna fill the carb bowl up with fuel here. This is my chainsaw mix. It's gas from the 90s and a little bit of 2-stroke oil. Throw a little bit in here. Yep, that's way too much. Now we'll crank this thing over and hopefully hear it fire for the first time in 44 years. Yes. It sounds good. No, is it gonna sit here and idle? I can't believe it. But I guess I got to. I'm looking right at it. She's smoking good. Yes. That is unbelievable. It sounds absolutely amazing. It's smoking like crazy. That's to be expected. Ring's got to come around. So it's showing over halfway in oil pressure, which on a 50s car would be like 15 pounds, which is completely normal, somewhere around there. Also showing that it's charging. Now we can check that quick. We'll put the digital meter on it. 8.3. I think we're good. This is how we got to turn it off. Ah, the generator's gonna run it. There we go. I think we should pour some ice cube juice in this thing. See if the water pump is pumping, see if the thermostat is doing thermostat things, see if the head gasket is even gonna come back around after a heat cycle or two. And if it stays cool, then we can move on to, you know, does the clutch actually even work? Can we get it into gear? And if we can get it into gear, is it gonna move back and forth? Then we'll move on to, you know, last brakes. That's gonna be so much fun. the brake pedal is stuck up and will not go to the floor. We'll soak that down, see if we get that freed up, because removing that master cylinder is an absolute bear. Been there, done it. 16.5 times. I gave up once. So, let's see what we got there. Well, for Pete's sake. Okay. We'll put some juice in there and then see if it comes back around. No, it won't. I think I'm gonna have to take this master cylinder out. Wow. Got one of 47 bolts out. You have a lens cover on that GoPro? Yeah. Oh. I'm not saying I'm mad. I'm just disappointed in the progress. This is getting messier than Fergie's national anthem. How is that possible? And that's a little victory, you know. That's all a guy needs. Really simple process, you know. Like I was saying, just take your time. They'll come right out of there. Piece of cake. Well, end of day one, it's been a fight, but end of day, the car runs. And I mean, it runs really good. We've got a clutch, it's going into gear. We're well on our way to having brakes now that the master cylinder's in, but we're losing light really, really quick. So we're gonna be back at it early tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this thing will be running and driving under its own power. Hopefully. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the 1951 Chevrolet Deluxe. 8 million pounds humidity. Rained all last night. And it's supposed to rain on and off through the afternoon. So I think what I'm gonna do is I had the wheels off the car and sat down and got some tires on last night. I think I'm gonna snip those on this thing and actually try to drive this back into the shed, get a little bit of cover. I can work in, you know, minus 30 with snow blowing, but the rain on a guy's back, it just gets my productivity down. Today's plan is just continue working on the brakes on this thing. We got the master cylinder in late last night, so I just got to get all the brake wheel cylinders and shoes and hardware, and I'm sure I'm going to snap some brake lines off and all that stuff too. Great. This is what we're after. And you can see here on the wheel cylinder, look at that, just junk pouring out. That's all moisture, corrosion. So this thing is going to be locked up. And what they're supposed to do is push these shuttles out, which spreads the brake pads out. And that's what stops you. We're going to go ahead and tear all this off, get these wheel cylinders out. The tricky part is the rubber line connects to the hard line up here on the frame. Getting those two to disconnect without twisting or breaking the steel line is, you got to be surgical. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Just rebuilding the back plate here. Now it's brand new. Since we ordered new rubber lines, we can just cut this one. Look how constricted that line is. No way fluid would have flowed through that. Kind of having to do this a little kittywampus because I don't want to risk spinning the nut on that steel brake line like I was talking about earlier. So what we have to do is spin the wheel cylinder around this line, effectively tighten it while it's loose, then try to seat it into place. You can do an entire drum brake setup, just a pair of vice grips. Yeah. guts. There we go, one side done, 3 more to go. All I'm gonna do with these is just hit them with some brake clean, make sure they're nice and clean, thoroughly inspect them again, hit them with some high temp grease, slide the drum back on, and one done. Hear that rain? I'm so glad we moved in here. Dodged it. Well, the small thunderstorm that was supposed to go around us turned into a Class 9 hurricane. It is raining cats and kittens. Went ahead and got all the wheel cylinders and shoes and brake hardware in all the way around the car, but of course, all that work trying to save the hard lines at the frame was moot. Yeah, they broke all off at the master cylinder, so we ended up putting all new hard lines in this thing as well. Great. Everything's fine. I don't know what I just ate. So after getting the new master cylinder in, I quickly discovered someone had been in here cobbling around with the brakes, and it became really evident this is probably the reason the vehicle was parked. There was some parts in here from a later model Chevy, and well, I had to fight to figure out the right fittings and hardware to make all of this work, but it's finally bled. We have brakes at all 4 wheels. I think we're ready.
Well, I think it's finally that time to put this 1951 Chevrolet Deluxe back on the road. Threw a fuel tank in the drinker side of the rig here, ran the hose straight through the glove box, which, by the way, glove box light comes on. I'll be dipped. Now we're ready. I'm excited to drive this thing, for real. Speedometer works, no way. Oil pressure gauge is still working. We still got some oil pieces. It's charger late. Charging whirler's doing the thing. And the clutch, how good is it? It's at the very top. This is my favorite part right here. I just can't believe it. I guess I got to though, I'm looking right at it. That whining sound, I believe, is the speedometer just putting in some work. It says 30, 50, 30, 52, 49, 46, 61, 28, 42. I don't know. I'm not an auctioneer, is what I'm saying. Steering feels fine. I never really looked at anything. I just pretended everything was good, you know. Nice little first cruise here. I didn't check how much fuel we had. I guess I can just look right here, though. About a gallon, maybe. Hey, made it to the motel. Hey, first test drive, not that bad. 15 so miles, I don't know. Wasn't really paying attention, I was having so much fun. It's doing okay up hills, doing even better downhill. Second gear seems to be what we're gonna do, but I'm gonna do that tomorrow. We're gonna leave bright and early, give us the best chance. I think we got like 160, 170 miles of just, you know, what you should probably not do, but we're gonna do it. Car's doing great. See you tomorrow. Good morning. Well, we got some good sleep in preparing for today. Did a little bit of an inspection on the car, you know, making sure this thing's ready. Topped off the radiator, checked the Earl, it's perfect. I kicked the tires, all 4 of them. I really don't think there's anything else left to do, but go ahead and just stick this on the road. A couple things we're worried about today. Obviously overheating, that's a big one, climbing these hills and whatnot. So far, been pretty good. Brakes, I don't know. I think we might be okay there. The biggest concern is gonna be that clutch. 2 options. We're either gonna get back on its own power or we're gonna get back on a flatbed. Hopefully the first one, that would be pretty neat. Either way, I'm excited to dig into this thing, clean it up, and make a few visual changes as well. Here we go. Why, we really got her whipped up now. Speedometer says 90. Well, 80, 82, 90, 93. Probably 60, 65. we're gonna coast for a little while. I do know they have a runaway truck ramp on this one. So, you know, if we need to, we'll just dip in the sand a little bit. Come on, girl. Goodness gracious! What was that? Bunch of water running off this rock face here. It's really pretty. I think there might be a waterfall up here, actually. Yep. Wow. That's cool. So, guy swung over to check out the waterfall, which I'm still going to do. But we had some sort of water explosion here. And I'm seeing water just flowing out the front of the block here, and I'm thinking it might be the water pump. Hey, everything's fine. I think we made it like 40 miles or something? No, maybe. Something like that. Well, that escalated quickly. Derek's non-fictional storytelling time. I've learned over the years, carry a few extra parts with you. You know, the basics. Hoses, water pump, carb kit, stuff like that. Thankfully, we happen to have a water pump because one of the bolts is leaking. So either the gasket, you know, checked out, or that itself is also rotted and really porous and it's leaking out pretty bad. So we're gonna do a swap on the water pump quick. I'm just contemplating maybe taking this rad out. It might make the whole process a whole lot easier. Plus I wanna be super careful and not tear this thing up. Believe you me, we need that. And I might also replace this top hose because the clamp is basically halfway through the hose itself. And I do happen to have one of those as well. So cooling system overhaul, and what a fitting place right here, right next to the waterfall. If all goes well, we'll be back on the road in, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. Give me a little time, okay? Now we'll take this down to the shop and have it flushed real quick. Perfect. If we break these off, we're in really big trouble. Thermostat check. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good flush. By the way, flushed all the rust out of this that I could before I put it in the shop. Relax. It's off. Oh yeah, that one was in really good shape. Mazel, you know, go ahead and replace that quick. Looks like the bow of the Titanic in here. We're gonna pretend we didn't see that and just jam a new hose on. Oh, it's absolutely perfect. Gonna top off the water jugs before we head out, just in case. It was a blessing this was here, actually. So I got a couple more, throw them back in the car, hit the road. Hopefully we can get some miles under our belt without any further issues. Fingers crossed. Get off them freeways, folks. You know what I mean? Hit the back road. That's where you're really gonna discover some neat stuff. Well, we actually made it. Took the better part of an entire day, but I don't even care. That was so much fun. Throwing that big, huge steering wheel around, watching the aviation-inspired hood ornament up there through the split glass windshield. Absolutely amazing drive. One I'll never forget, actually. And now that I spent all day in this rig, I got some ideas to really bring this thing back around and really make it a go in the town unit. And of course, we'll have Jessica look at it as well, and I'm sure she's gonna have some ideas. But I'm gonna call it a day. We'll see you in the shop, wrenching on this bright and early tomorrow. Well, we made it back in the 51 Chevy. Engine runs pretty good, but obviously there are a few things that guys got to address to make this an official going to town rig. Now, there's still some mechanical things that need to be addressed, like, you know, the fuel jug and fumes and the passenger floorboard there. Maybe we can delete on that, put in an actual fuel tank, fuel lines, replace the carburetor. And then I want to jump into the interior here. The headliner's flapping around and you're continually eating the contents that are kind of circulating in the cab. We got to address that. Missing a door panel, patch the floor, just make it a nice, comfortable feeling interior. On the outside here, I got my patented shine juice. We're gonna lay on this thing. Watch what it does to this paint. It's really gonna bring it around. I got some really budget-friendly options for tires and wheels. It's gonna make this thing look really sharp, give it a smidge of attitude. And then speaking of attitude, we got to get some altitude attitude adjustment. Just bring this thing down a little bit. It looks like a pickup truck right now. So we're going to lower this puppy, give it just a little bit of rake, and I think this car is going to look fantastic. It'd be a nice cruiser. Got quite a list to get to, so let's jump into it. Whoa, almost died. Nice to be under the car, but not laying in cow pies, hay, and gravel. The frame in this thing is actually really, really solid. Got a foot vent for the passenger here. Something on the list too is addressing this exhaust. It's basically straight piped, it's broke right here, but one more good railroad track jump, I think it would have come off and this would jam into the ground, so I got a fix for that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Exhaust deleted. Where I'm gonna start is back here on the fuel tank. I don't know how they got the paint out of here. Must have been just completely rotted. And then this fuel line is rotted as well, going up to the front. So we'll replace that fuel line. We'll hang a tank, get new straps. We'll get a new fuel sending unit in it, and then we'll have some capacities. Old one is out. Boom. There we go. Fuel system almost complete. This is a Rochester one barrel, where the old one is a Carter. They're slightly different, but they both work just fine for the 216, 235, basically any straight six platform. I think the Rochester might perform just a little bit better, might I say. So I gotta do something with this interior. It's crusty, not very clean, does not smell good. So I think what we're gonna do, I wanna do this whole car just on a really tight budget, right? So we're just gonna try to tack this headliner up somehow, leave the rest of it, because really it's not that bad. Pull the seats out, patch the floor. We'll just find some NOS replacement panels. And by that, I mean license plates, side of a stove, whatever we could find. I'm picturing kind of a mid-60s kind of shine runner, hot rod kind of look for this car. Is we're gonna do like the Mexican blanket seat covers on this. Maybe even door panels and some other stuff. You could pick them up for, you know, 15 bucks. I got a pile of blankets. We'll see if we can affix them to these somehow. But first, I gotta get this thing vacuumed out. It's pretty nasty. Ooh, we definitely got fire on this side. Why is it so heavy?
Make sure to use all your back. There you go.
Yeah.
See, oh, the smell just ripened up.
Oh my gosh.
Hit that with the mouse sucker. Yeah, this side's done. I'm gonna take a break because I don't want to get welder burn. I'm gonna do the ankle vents back here, then move over to the drinker side, get that side patched up. Smells like a porta potty at Woodstock.
Oh gosh.
Oh, now it's really floating up, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. This is that stuff that I was eating on the way here yesterday. Yep. Yeah. It's in my left lung. I still got one more. What we're gonna do with the new headliner is also put back some texture. And I'm gonna do that by using a rubberized undercoating. And it'll also give that flat black look that we need. Oh. Well, it's the end of the day. We're packing up for tonight. Time to check in with the list here. I gotta admit, cleaning this thing out was a little bit more labor intensive than I thought. I bit off, we bit, there's more, we're chewing on it still. Fuel tank ascending unit, that's in, looks really great. Fuel lines are in, we got the carb in. Brand new exhaust. And by that I mean Sawzall straight pipe. Really excited to hear that, actually. Headliner's done, just, snip that, little bit of rubber undercoating. Seats almost there, door panels we're tackling tomorrow. Patching the floor, everything's welded up, seam sealed, looks perfect. Patch the roof, almost there. Tires and wheels, that's a big project for tomorrow, but we did just paint the wheels. Suspension we have to do, polish the stainless. We did get headlights in. We popped these yellow headlights in. That goes along that attitude line. I think it looks really sharp. Actually changed the whole look of the car, just the lights themselves. Tomorrow we've got a ton of work to do, but I'm confident by the end of the day, we're gonna be driving this thing, cruising it around with its brand new look. I'm really looking forward to it. See you bright and early tomorrow. Hey, good morning. So I think where we're gonna start today is pressure wash this and dig right into the paint and get as much of this old paint and contaminants and everything off that we can. And also, I'm gonna bring all this chrome and stainless right back around. And then while this is drying off, I can finish up the front seat in the shop there. Then we'll wheel it back in and get after that list again. But after doing this several hundreds of times, I've kind of got a technicals down that work pretty good. A lot of you have probably heard of the Comet Wash, and that works great. Quick, easy way to kind of clean it up. But I took it a step further. And I've been doing it this way for years, and I've done several hundred cars like this, and it just works really good. And what I use is these steel wool pads with the soap in them. And if you can't find them with the soap, get the Quad 00 steel wool pads, and they work fantastic too. And if you have bigger areas and you're kind of in a hurry, go find this gray steel wool. I'm gonna use a little bit of just dish soap and water here, or you can use glass cleaner if you want. But if you watch the surface rust here, we can actually just come in and really quickly take that right off. Now this is only for like a lacquer finish or like a single stage enamel finish. It's not for like a base clear. So don't go rub this on your wife's Porsche or something like that. Uh-oh, not good. But you can see how quick and easy that takes it right off. And here's what's really cool. Say you wanted some more color in this, right? We know there's some white under here. I can come over here, and if I apply pressure, I can brighten that up really quick. And if you look back around this corner, I did this last night, just as an example. We can come through, right through the paint, and you can make shapes and directions and anything you want to do. So this really is your paintbrush in a sense, but I'm gonna do the whole car like this. You can feel it's rough and pretty porous, and then all of a sudden it'll start slicking up and the steel wool will start moving around quick. That's usually when you can call it quits, unless, again, you want to make some color changes or you got some stubborn surface rust.
Turned out great. It took a long time to look like this, so we're just gonna preserve it and enjoy it. Oh no.
Stop.
You're too used to that. So I was backing it into the shop here and it was running really weird. I mean, just wouldn't stay running. Got under the hood here and it's running super lean. It's not jetted correctly at all. It's supposed to be, but it's not. I don't have any jets for Rochester one barrel, but I do have another style Rochester off of a 235 that I've rebuilt and jetted, and I know this one's pretty fat. I'm gonna pop this one on and just see how this engine reacts with this carburetor in it. Nice thing is these literally only take like 5 minutes to swap. Oh, it won't bolt up. No! I wonder if a guy could he? Well, let's find out. Oh, be dipped. Yes, torqued. I can't believe it, but I guess I got to. I'm looking at it. Now, we'll go pop it on and see how it runs with this thing on it. Yeah, it runs way better. That's exactly what we needed. Chip it. Yep. This seat weighs more than the whole front clip. Good enough. Yeah, just leave it like that. It looks pretty good. Not bad at all. I'm probably gonna do this more often, actually.
No, we're
Yes.
definitely not.
So we're moving on to the paint here. And normally I'm a big fan of buffing this old paint out, trying to bring back the original shine, but this one's got so much exposed metal and different primers that it just really wouldn't look that right, especially with the roof there. So another option is we're gonna do kind of a boiled linseed option here where we can just wipe on a coating. It's gonna protect bare metal, it's gonna protect some of the primer, and it's gonna give it kind of a eggshell or matte finish. Depending on how you mix it, you can get a little bit more shine out of that. You gotta start with bold linseed oil. It has to be bold, not the regular linseed oil. And we're gonna start with 3-to-1. And Jessica's gonna be helping me. So I'm gonna mix her a batch as well. And then grab some Earth Ghost Juice here. And this is gonna cut it down, take some of the sheen out of it. So the more you use of this, the less shiny it's gonna be, basically. I like to put some penetrating oil in mine. Really brings out that shine. You pick your flavor, but this is the secret to my patented bowl linseed oil. I call it shine juice. Sure, see? That's looking good. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So now I'm gonna mix this up, and we're gonna use a microfiber towel, and all you have to do is dip this in, and we're gonna wipe it on the car. Now, I must say, this is extremely flammable. Probably don't be, chewing on a cigar when you're putting this on as well. So there's a few different ways to lower a vehicle with coil springs. Of course, there's drop spindles, coil springs, or a combination of those two. And then you can cut them or you can heat them. And I really wouldn't recommend either one of those. They're dangerous and they change the geometry of the front end and everything. So I'm gonna do the right thing and heat the coil springs in this car and drop the front end as much as I can, basically. I want this thing riding on the bump stops, if we can do it. You really only get one shot at this. So we got the front of the car lowered and it looks way better. But now the back end's about, I don't know, 1 7/8 too high. There's some options out there to lower this down, none of which I have access to today, but I got an idea. We're gonna add about 250 pounds of sand,
level this thing right out and improve ride quality. Sure. So let's check in with the list here. We've been putting in work today for sure. Door panels, got them in, check. Seats, turned out pretty darn well. Patched roof, looks factory, can't even tell. Tires and wheels, those turned out perfect, exactly what I envisioned. Changed the whole look of the car there. Suspension, lowering, you bet. And guess what? Cost about 35 bucks. Shine juice, check. The only thing left to do is drive it. And I guarantee you I'm gonna do that. Let's jump in this thing, go for a cruise. Off the road for 44 years. Here we are cruising the back roads of Tennessee. There's nothing wrong with this thing. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have cruise control or Bluetooth or a radio.
That,
no. This is a really neat old car. Well, you know, like the good old boys say, they just don't make them like these.
that is for sure.
So I gotta be honest, the first time I laid eyes on this car, I was a little bit nervous about getting it back on the road and driving it all the way back to the shop, especially over a mountain pass. But it really didn't take that much work. I mean, we cleaned the carburetor out, went through the ignition system, got some lightning to her, threw some fresh fuel on it, and it came back to life, and it sounds pretty good. Biggest fight we had was the brakes. Master cylinder, shoes, wheel cylinders, lines. That was a battle royale, but if you look at this car overall, we didn't put a lot of money into it at all. It was mostly labor. Biggest expense is these tires here. Guys got to have those one way or another. We're having a lot of fun enjoying it right now, but there's still a little left to do over time, and that's the best way to do it, is just work on it a little bit as you can. Right now, we're just having a lot of fun cruising this thing. Well, that's it for this episode. We've got more to save, so we'll see you next time. Then we'll put the carburetor on. Sound check, sorry. It's been a long time. You're just as lovely as you used to be. How you doing? I'm fine. Your hair is blowing right in my face.
Well, it's all over my face too, sorry.